What's good, everybody? My name is Alckemy, and if this is your first time to the channel, I'd like to give you a warm welcome. Up above in the middle of the screen, there's a link to my website where I offer a lot of products that you can download, some for free, some are paid, and then also any support that you would want to toss my way if you like my content, I would always appreciate it. With that out of the way, today we're going to be learning how to make some drums that kind of sound like this. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, swing has always been a major challenge, and today's hack is going to be so mind-blowingly simple that you might even give yourself a facepalm. I did myself when I figured this out, and I'm just happy to kind of give it to you, whether you want to use this for lo-fi hip-hop, for halftime, or create swing within something like Garage. Before we get into the rest of this video, I have to make a formal apology to you all. I accidentally exported the mixing tutorial in 360p, and Final Cut updated, and it erased all of my export settings where I'm used to just like upload to YouTube and go. So I really apologize. And for those of you guys who upvoted my video anyways, even though it was low quality, I just want to give you guys a huge thanks. Speaking of, we're getting close to 5K subs, and man, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. So how do we make this work? The only thing that you really need for all of these samples is the ability to scrub through audio. And so what that basically means is if I'm over here and I have an audio clip kind of like this, I can hold Option and Command and it will have these little two arrows, and I can just scrub in between this way. And honestly, as crazy as that sounds, that is the main key to getting swing for these drums. If you look at the clips themselves, they're actually all on grid, quote unquote. But where the sample starts is kind of where everything changes. That's the end of the tutorial. No, I'm just kidding. I will go through how we get all these drums and stuff, but in essence, that is pretty much the gist of this. And so what I can do is I can basically make a drum pattern kind of like this. Let's say we go ahead and borrow some snares kind of like this and copy this over here, and now we just set this to loop. If we listen to this, it's going to sound like it's bang on grid. But if we grab this and we start to push this over to the side, then it gives us an easy ability to create swing within our tunes. Now, I had a major issue kind of following over to Bitwig because this Bitwig by nature doesn't offer track delays, which you can use in Ableton. That is actually a much more efficient way to do this. But if you're trying to throw something kind of like a hat on or whatever, and you're trying to create some easy swing with all of this, then what you can do is just line all of these up on the grid and then maybe grab one or two and push one over a little bit as well, and then pull that in. Okay. So that's not really working that well, but within that, we can kind of loop this again and grab that. Okay, so maybe some of those are overlapping and we don't really want it to do that. Well, we can always take one out just like that. Same thing, we can go ahead and grab a hat loop kind of like this, and right now this one is already swung, but let's just pretend like it's here. Even if this is on grid on 16ths, you can still take a loop or so and still just push it a little bit late. Now, obviously, these are incredibly extreme, and these are going to have to be tuned to taste, but honestly, that's the gist of how all of these work. And so you pretty much just take all of the percussion elements that you want to add swing to, and you kind of do that in its own right. So one more hack that I want to teach you how to do is an easy way to make shakers, and I do that by using old trusty Serum. Don't worry so much about the processing on this, but if you grab a white noise and you grab an LFO like this, then what you can do is you can take the LFO1 to the level here and create your own shakers in that manner. And it's cool because you can create your own sense of swing with this whenever you're processing these, in case if you want to do something a little bit different or change the rhythm of this. And then from there, you can go and process it, and basically you add some distortion, you add some compression and some chorus, and then on the outside, some more distortion, some bit crushing, and then you can just kind of shape your shaker in the way that you want in whatever way. And you can actually just upload a shaker sample into this if you wanted to create this. But this is an excellent tool that you can use with the multi-stage envelope generator to create your own kind of like custom shakers. And then you can add like your own sense of flavor for swing. So all you'd have to do is just bounce something like this out, like this, and suddenly we've got some swing over our drum beat. So when you combine all of those elements together, you get the finished product just like this, and then we enjoy the lo-fi. Now, just to kind of complete this video for the sake of understanding what I did for the rest of this, I've obviously created some spaces between this because I don't want it to just be a full influx of rhythm that's going. If you have multiple percussive instruments like percussion of the sort or hats and multiple hats even, you can look here where you create some spaces to kind of fit these jigsaw patterns in. And if you do it right and you combine all the elements with the same swinging idea or kind of method that I've used here, then that's when you can kind of get this nice flow of having a good sense of swing, but also some space within your mix. So that's pretty much it for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. It was even longer than it needed to be. I kind of like talked about the simple thing over, but it's nice to give an example. But hope you guys enjoyed the content. Feel free to ask any other questions if you have anything regarding that, and happy swinging.